Well, here we go again. It's the beginning of yet another Let's Play. Many of you will probably recognize what you're seeing right here. Yes, it's a Super Nintendo game that was quite well known. Apparently one of the earliest games released for the console. Sort of like the best of the initial wave or something. We have some ominous demonic silhouettes going on. Yes, it's Super Ghouls and Ghosts by Capcom. Except this is the Japanese version, which will make very little difference. Practically no difference, in fact, because I've played pretty much all of it. And I can't think of a single thing that's different between this and the American version. The Wikipedia page says something about how there was some censorship involving crosses or something. But, well, I don't remember that. Maybe it was the Tri-Blade or whatever it was. Or maybe they were getting it confused with Castlevania, where that censorship did happen. So yes, I'll be playing this on professional, just for the heck of it. This LP is going to be different, though. Anyone who cares will probably have noticed that there are many LPs of this game already existing. At least on YouTube. So, what makes mine different? Well, I'm going to be doing a challenge game, which means I have special conditions to make the gameplay more interesting, both to play and to watch. And as far as I know, no one's done something like this before, so it's a nice brand of uniqueness. And also mostly just because I felt like doing it, and like, why not, really? I'll probably have explained all that in the video description, but if not, well, even if so, I'll be doing it, explaining as we play as well. So enough talking, let's get this game started. And here we have what is pretty much the entire plot of the story right here. It's our guy Arthur and the Princess Prin Prin, which sounds like a penguin or something. He gets kidnapped by this fuzzy red demon. And now we gotta rescue our princess. And here's the route we'll have to be taking to do so. Ah, old video game stories. Things were simpler back then. So here we go. Okay, so first challenge part is that whenever an item drops, I have to pick it up. Whenever a treasure box appears, I have to open it and take whatever's inside, even if it's one of the bad weapons that no one ever uses. This is the main idea behind the challenge. In all the LPs I've seen of this game, people always use like the same two weapons for the entire game and never anything else. I mean, it's understandable, but it's not so good for like variety. It makes it a bit boring to watch. So I'll be yeah, well apparently I can't pick that up, so I get a pass there. So as you've seen, we just picked up this armour that says bronze armour. It must be pretty old to be that colour. But this gives our attacks a powered up version, which is usually superior to the normal version. I think in all but one case. The bow here is one of the good weapons because of its homing capabilities. Without the power-up, it's just a straightforward diagonal shot kind of thing. And here we have the gold armour, which has the same effect but also gives you the ability to cast white magic, like this. And whoops. Each weapon has a different effect. The one of the bow is that it makes treasure boxes on the screen appear without you having to touch the triggers. The way treasure boxes appear in this is whenever your character passes over a certain point, it will make the chest appear. But with this magic, you can do it from anywhere. So yeah, I have to collect all these money bags as well. And there's the shield. That's the sun shield. Mostly it just makes your magic charge up faster. The orange shield that we had before was the moon shield, which is the same thing except it's not as fast. The shields will also protect you from some small projectiles, but only if you're standing still and if they hit the shield exactly, which is kind of difficult to use intentionally. The moon shield protects from 1 hit and the sun shield from 3, I believe. Here is where the difficulty starts with the little challenge conditions here. Having to pick up everything that drops means that I often have to go back and forwards, wasting a lot more time than I should. Also, I absolutely friggin' hate this part on Professional. Those skulls just drop so fast that you can't do a whole lot about it. This challenge is probably going to cause me some trouble. I've played this game to death, so I wouldn't say that I'm bad at it exactly. Probably going to die here. Another part of the challenge that I've yet to mention yet, because it's just about to come up, we have this magician here that appears as a kind of trap. He uses that magic so that you can't attack or move properly for a while. As part of the challenge, whenever one of those guys appears, I have to get hit by it. Again, part of the idea to make things more interesting, because, not to brag or anything, but I would pretty much just breeze through all of this if there were no challenge conditions. I've played it so much that it's like total memorization, and I just made a dumb mistake which fortunately didn't turn out badly. You should never double jump in this game unless you're absolutely sure what's ahead of you, because if not, then the game just loves to throw something directly where you're going to land and you can't do anything about it, because unlike some games, when you jump you can't change your movement or anything, you're locked in. Which is... a lot of people complain about that, but it's not so bad. It just means that you have to know what you're doing. I mean, it's not as if you could control your jumps in the other games in the series either. Now, for why I was doing this on Professional, mostly it's just because of, like, it would kind of be like that the challenge wasn't... Drat. Ground's too high to duck there. Professional mode. What it does is, Basically, it just makes some enemies move faster. That's pretty much all it is, really. And those skull things count as enemies, so they fall faster, which is like the only thing that normally gives me trouble. On the other hand, not being able to use the best weapons all the time also means that I'm going to have a little more difficulty than usual, so... Whoa. That thing just looked totally glitched for some reason. Maybe it was just me. I don't know. Yeah, most of this doesn't give me a problem, but it's just this one. It's so close to the ground. And I can never tell when the things are going to drop. Sometimes they drop faster, sometimes slower between them, and you just have to run and hope. And of course you've got that chest on the other side, which means you have to go through it twice. Most of my deaths on this level are probably going to be here. Because if this wasn't enough, I've got to go through this one again, and then there's that money bag up there, which is an absolute pain to get without being hit. Stop dropping those things. See it up there, right above that thing. You have to time it insanely to be able to get through. And I'm not so good at that. Normally I just avoid it completely. So I did it somehow. Okay, so things are going better than expected this time. Yeah, this wave thing will insta-kill you if you're not standing on one of these stone pillars. Even if you're on a part of ground that doesn't disappear. Which is kind of strange, but whatever. So... yeah, each of the transformations has its own like characteristics in terms of how fast you can move and things. The baby that you get turned into without any armor will have this moment where you can't control him just after jumping. And that seal can double jump, which means that it's probably the most survivable of the transformations there are. I'm not going to mention the other ones until we see them. That skull cart thing is unkillable, you just have to jump over it. These blobby things seem to spawn much more frequently on professional. Now, about treasure boxes, or treasure chests, whatever you want to call them. They follow a specific pattern. Like, a pattern of what item appears when, based on when you... no, it's based on how many you've picked up, or opened, rather. Because it counts as opening a treasure chest whenever you trigger one, not when you actually open it. The fire torch thing gives you this round, sort of like a shield thing. It doesn't really block anything, just hurts enemies. So, with the chests, it's always like, it's most obvious at the beginning of a round, like at the start of a life or start of a level. You'll always get the same orders of items. Well, here we have the first boss, who's pretty easy, all things considered. basically he just spits eggs which generate these little mini bird things and stretches out his head at you. Pretty easy no matter what you're equipped with. I'll probably go into more detail on the chest things at some other time, but it's not like it's that complicated. The point of all this is that as long as I don't trigger a chest, I don't have to get it for the challenge conditions. And he's dead. So if I know where one is, and I know that it would be a bad position for something that's going to come out of it, then I can skip it. As long as I don't trigger it to appear. So that was the end of stage 1. Next time we'll be going to stage 2, obviously, which has a watery theme to it, as you can see here. So this was the first video of Let's Play Super Ghouls and Ghosts Special Challenge Edition, and hopefully you'll keep watching to next time. See you later, guys.